This week's conversation with Clara Warschauer is sponsored by Sassy Jack's Stitchery. Two big things happening at Sassy Jack's. In addition to the expected opening of the Sassy Jack store in early September, be sure to sign up for the September Soiree online retreat, September 15 to 17. Each year, the soiree has been a big hit, and this year promises to be the best yet. You can now also sign up for a series of October workshops with Jackie Duplessis. The October 3 and 4 workshop is called Hold Dear, a beautifully decorated tiger maple project box with 2 storage areas and a pincushion in the lid. That's followed by Love That Red, a drawn thread sewing roll-up sampler on October 5 and 6. October 7 will be a bit of a mystery that will involve a fall flame stitch and a beautiful bespoke wooden box. Then on October 8, you can stitch the Morning Glory work basket. Sign up for all of these workshops is by email only. Also, Kim is thinking about starting a linen club. Share your thoughts on the Sassy Jacks Facebook page. Much more information about all Sassy Jacks activities is available through the Sassy Jacks website, sassyjacksstitchery.com, the Jacks Journal newsletter, or the Sassy Jacks Facebook page. It's going to be a busy fall at Sassy Jack's Stitchery. Don't miss out. And now our conversation with Clara Warschauer. Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Beth Ellicott.
And you're listening to Fiber Talk, the twice-weekly podcast for needlework artists. Our artist this week from Clara Stitching, Clara Warschauer. Clara, welcome.
Hello, Gary. Hello, Beth. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we got things to talk about here. Okay, yes. Now, you have this beautiful accent, and so now say your name the way it's really said, not the American way.
No, my name is Maria Clara Warschauer. Everybody calls me Clara, but sometimes I have to pronounce Clara, so they understand, right? But yeah, Clara is my name.
Yeah, so you say it beautifully. Yep, I enjoy that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Argentina, U.S., U.K.
Yes, all over the world.
Try to stay in one spot for a minute, will you?
Yeah. Well, I was born in Argentina. I was born in Buenos Aires, but grew up in Salta. And then I have double citizenship. I have German passport as well because of my grandfather. So yes, when I was 28 years old, I decided to use the passport for the first time, and I came to the UK. And my brother was already living here, so it was, it was a good place to start. And yes, that's why I came here when I was 28 years old in 2010. And then in 2018, we moved with my husband and my kids to New York because of his work. And so we were there for 4 years, from 2018 to 2022, until last year. And now we're back in London. So yeah, I've been a bit around.
Yeah, I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, New York, New York. That's its own beast. UK, yes. Which you prefer the UK or doesn't matter?
Oh, it's like I don't know. London, New York. What can I say? They are two amazing cities, different, but I had amazing experiences in both places. In New York, at the beginning, it was, like being in the movies. You arrive there to the U.S. and it's like, it feels sort of familiar because you've seen it so many times in movies that it feels like, like it's something kind of familiar. It's a strange feeling. But yes, amazing. And the thing is, we had the first year was like normal, but then we had the pandemic, the pandemic years. So I was, I think until we returned, it was still going on. All that time was a bit different, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning, it was a bit different, but still amazing. I think it was probably the best place to be there in those times.
Right. I never gave that any thought. You see New York in movies and TV so much that Yeah, I guess when you go there, there is a familiarity that you wouldn't have with other cities. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And with some places of the US as well. Like there were some places when we traveled a bit, and this feeling of, like it's familiar, but it's not, because I was not from there and I didn't have any family there. But yeah, it gave me this feeling of, like I
Right.
knew it, right? Yeah.
Right. It's like if you go to Utah or the valley where they do all the Western movies.
Exactly. Yes.
It's this feeling like I think I've been here, but you've only seen it in all those Westerns or all those movies, and then there you are.
Yeah, and some Stephen King scenes as well. Like I remember some books I read of him. Like also, this tunnel reminds me of, of this book. And yes, definitely, yeah. It's part of our, I don't know what is the word, upbringing, right? Since you are a child, you see all these movies, and it's a very strong connection, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so needlework through all these travels and moving, the needlework is always part of that, or do you end up having to take breaks just as you adjust to new cultures and new places?
Well, if I started, well, let's see. Now that
start where you started. Let's try that. How about that?
Okay, let's go back in time and space. So I could, it's difficult to think like when I started, because I could tell you stories of my childhood, but I think the moment that when I started needlework was when I was 18 years old. I said I grew up in Salta. I moved to Buenos Aires, which is quite far. It's, I think, 900 miles, like 2 hours by plane, right? It's very far away. And I moved to a nun's residence for students, for girls. And so next to me was a girl. She was a bit older, and she was doing some cross stitch. I was just, I liked it so much. And I asked her if she would teach me. And she did. So she taught me the basics, and because I've tried before, but I had failed, and she taught me well. And so after then I started, cross stitch, not like I've been doing it now in the last few years with embroidery. It's like I do it 100% of my time. But back then I would do it, when I was on holidays, every now and then, I would get all the magazines, because my father had a magazines kiosk, newspaper magazines. So he would bring, all these magazines from Europe, from Spain, cross-stitch, beautiful magazines. And so I would ask him and get them. So I say, one day, right? Like piling them up. One day I will have time. I guess when you're young, I was not, thinking of other things, studying, going out, other things. So it was not central in my life. Right. But I was kind of consistent, every couple of months, maybe I would continue doing something. So I started with cross stitch. With cross stitch. And then I think it was when I moved to the UK that I started to explore other techniques. And I did a few workshops, some day classes at the Royal School of Needlework. That also, for me was like being in another planet. I don't know if you know anything about Salta, but it's just so different from Europe, right? So, and those times, or maybe, I don't know if I was ignorant, but I think it wasn't as easy as it is now, to look on Google, and I'm talking 2010. So I remember like seeing a website, looking something for embroidery, finding this workshop, Hampton Court Palace, but not knowing anything like what it is. Like it's just the name of a street, I don't know.
Oh my, you signed up for a workshop at the Royal School and really didn't know what it was? Wow.
I didn't know. I had no idea. And then I got there and oh, this is a real palace.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And, with my accent and like feeling like a little mouse there. And it was, and I did a couple of workshops then in other places as well. But it was something I would do every now and then. You know what I mean? Not something that I would do consistently. But when we moved to New York, that was 2018, I started to have a bit more time because my kids were young, very little, but they were starting to sleep the whole night. Like how this.
Yes.
Because I had two
A key
boys.
phase, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was before that. It was like 4 years of like not sleeping, like not being able to sleep one night because they would wake up all the time, and they're very close together in age. And so when I started to have a bit more time, I went back to my cross stitch. And
I'm going to interrupt you there. That's a study we got to do, Beth. Is what happens to mothers during that phase in their needlework when they can't get a night's sleep and they're just in a fog, and then when they come out they can actually think again. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. It's like it's literally, it's like being in a fog. It's all the hormones, lots of things that when you're in the moment you don't realize you are in. It's like you're not yourself. You're tired. You're thinking of your kids. The body, all these things. But yes, something cleared in a moment. They started to sleep. I think it was that.
It makes a huge difference when they sleep through the night. And they I had 3, and when they all slept through the night, it was just
it's a before and after.
Yes. And then you have that, because you get uninterrupted sleep, and then they're still sleeping. They go to bed before you do.
Yeah.
And then I used to get up earlier than everyone else. And that time where the house was quiet and you had time. Oh my.
Yeah. That's the moment. Yeah.
Yes.
For me, it was in the evenings because we put them early to bed, like 7, 8. My husband is British, so he has these schedules like earlier, because for me from Argentina, you go to sleep, 10 p.m. It's different. But here kids go earlier. So that was very good because, so from 7 they are sleeping. I have quite a few hours, in the evening at night. Quiet. Yeah.
Now there's a culture difference. Yeah, one goes to bed early and the other is up all night. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very different. Yeah, and eating late as well. Like we have dinner at 9, 10. It would be normal, and here you have dinner at 5, 6, very early. And so when we go to Argentina, my husband is 5 p.m. and he's like super hungry and there's nothing open, and it's a bit different.
Right. And I know in parts of Europe are that way too. My son was in Spain and he's like, no one's eating yet. It's only 7 or 8 o'clock. It's too early to eat.
8 is early, actually. 8 is early. Yes, like similar. I imagine like Spain, Italy, like that type of more similar to them. I think we are. Yeah.
Right. Totally different culture.
Yeah.
But it's fun because then you learn things. About how people do things.
I think it's amazing they go to bed at 10. I got really used to the the routine here. I love it. Like we have dinner at 5. I have dinner at 5 as well. I really got used to it. Yeah.
That's like half a day for you if you're used to staying up late. That's
Of course, yeah. You have 7 to 12. It's party, you can do whatever. Yeah, it's a lot of time. Yeah.
So you take this class at Hampton Court Palace.
Yeah.
What that must have been real eye-opening.
Yeah, it was very. I was not prepared. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even have, I remember I didn't even have the clamp for the hoop. So no, you need one. Like you have to buy this. Okay. And and it was, very interesting. And I got this stand for the first time, because before I used to have it on my hand. So, these little things you start to learn. Yes, here it's needlework. I think, I don't know, it's amazing. The needlework here in England. Like, I'm so lucky to be here. It's amazing.
Yeah. So is the palace fairly close that you can take classes regularly, or does it have to be a special effort?
Well, you have to take the day. I'm about to finish the certificate, so I'm going there now. I take a class every now and then. So you have to take the whole day, right? Because it's not in the middle of the city. for the certificate, it's like 10 to 4, so you have to be the whole day. For a day class, I think as well, they are like, you have to take the day. But you can take the train or a bus being here. It's not difficult to get there.
Well, that's good. I've been, Beth, you've been to London. I've been there a couple times, and the traffic, yeah, you can keep that. So,
yeah. You've been here, Gary. You've been to the Royal School. You've been doing some embroidery.
No, just to London for business. No, I've never been to Royal School. No.
Okay, but I did. And, I went for.
You did, Beth?
Yes, for one day class, and it was just fantastic. It was a wonderful.
What did you take?
I took a crewel embroidery class.
Yes.
Because I was with my family, and there was a 2-day class I wanted to take, but I couldn't justify leaving my family for 2 days while they toured London, and I was like, well, I'm going to Hampton Court to take it.
Bye. See you later.
Right. So, but one day was, and I learned so much. I did learn things, and it was a fantastic day and a fantastic place to take an embroidery class of any sort.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, it is.
You got to go, Gary. Got to go.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I follow on Instagram this lady calls herself History Alice. She's amazing. She's always showing different things in the UK and giving the history behind them. And she has one segment that's the palace, and she talks about the ghost in the palace and shows she doesn't show any of the royal school stuff. It's all history stuff. But it's one day I got to get there. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, it's a must. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what takes you? What was the turning point from just occasional cross stitch to getting serious about needlework?
I don't know. It just, it started. I started to have some time. So when I was in New York, I took a workshop. This like a floral woven, something like that with a teacher, Robin Schweitzer. She's in Instagram as well, the Hoop. And, I took this workshop, and it really clicked on me, like I enjoyed it so much. And she also inspired me a lot. We connected on Instagram. I would see her, sitting with these photos, this embroidery. I was just like, oh, I want to do this. It was just, and so I started to do it. I started to, investigate and started to study. And I think I have to say that probably I am a little bit obsessive. So I went full with the subject. Like I bought all the books, all the magazines. I took all the classes. I was just, all the time that I was not dedicating to my family or the house, I was dedicating to embroidery. And it's the only thing I think about, like when I don't have anything to do, I say, okay, I'm going to think, and I'm thinking about this, and I'm just, looking at in internet, and it's just I love it. It's just so much fun.
So that's okay. It just evolved. See, so many people, it just evolves. Yeah. So it just came to be, and then you went crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I started with trying techniques, and then there was this moment, I think we all probably, I don't know, well, I don't think everybody, but, there was this moment where I was like curious to try if I could do something. But I had this, I don't know, this kind of, this idea that I couldn't draw, that, it's impossible. Like I can do cross stitch because, it's a pattern and I follow the guide, so I can do it and it looks beautiful and it's controlled, right? But if I had to do it on my own, I won't be able to do it. It's super difficult. I don't know how to draw. And so I think it was when all this, the pandemic started, so I'm going to study drawing. And I bought some books, botanical drawing. I bought this beautiful book from Wendy Hollander, The Joy of Botanical Drawing. And I started to do it. Page 1, page 2, page 3, like seriously doing it. And I started to draw, like properly. Like I was so amazed, really so amazed that if you follow a technique, like there are rules. And And then I took some workshops as well from her and from other artists in the light pipe, to draw birds and eggs and these kind of things. And this Islamic flowers that I learned from Maruk Bashir, that now we're doing a class together, how things, develop. And you can actually learn how to draw. For me, it was amazing. I remember when I made a leaf of a hydrangea, a flower,
Yeah.
and I draw it, and I couldn't believe, like I could draw, that was a big step for me when I was starting to try, but always thinking about embroidery, right? Like always thinking about getting these other skills because I wanted to apply for embroidery.
Okay.
Like always, yeah.
So the drawing filled in the gap for you that allowed you to do the embroidery
Definitely.
you wanted to do. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, it did help me a lot to gain confidence. That okay, I can. Yeah, that was a turning point, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the problems with, well, at least for me, is the fear. If I draw, I can draw an outline of something, but how do I shade it? How do I make it look so it looks real? And I think drawing would probably help you reinforce that.
Definitely. Yeah, no. And it's like if I could do it, if I was able to draw, because I tell you, like I couldn't draw. I thought it was like I was incapable of drawing, literally, like I was embarrassed. And no, like it's learnable. It's really it's not something that you have to be born with, it's like there are techniques. And if you and I did it quite fast, like I got the book and I just started. And I think from the first project that I did, it was like, okay, I'm doing it, it's like this looks really like a tulip. It was because I remember the first one was a tulip, and it was a tulip. So yeah, that was it's very interesting, and it's really fun, actually. I really enjoyed. There was a moment that I was getting quite hooked with the botanical drawing, and I had a moment of saying, maybe I'm better at this than embroidery. Maybe this is not the right path. But no, I enjoy embroidery too much, I guess.
Now your art is really a combination in various levels of gold work and stump work and surface embroidery. Is that after cross stitch? Is that, and once you get to the UK and see some of the work there, that's where your focus was as you're learning to draw? As I want to create these things with gold work and stump work. You want three-dimensional things. Is that what you were after?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very drawn to the color metals. I really like them. I think it's so much fun to have all these, metal threads, cut them, and the pearls. It's so much fun, and I like how it looks like as well. I really like, Hazel Everett's book that I always mention because it's my favorite, the gold work Hazel Everett's book. I don't know if you know the book that I'm talking about.
Hazel
Everett.
Hazel Everett?
Yeah.
Oh, just a minute. Got to write that down. So Hazel Everett.
Well, she has a gold work book that it's the cover of the book. It's all color, flowers with color gold work. And I love that. That's like the style that I like the most. I think that book inspired me so much. And that's, I get these books and I actually read them, like I grab the book and I read them. And yes, and that one is the one that I always go back to when I need some inspiration, and the style, everything about that book is, it's definitely my favorite. And yes, I've always, I like, for example, someone that I like a lot and that inspired me so much was, I'm sure you know that embroidery girl, Georgina Bellamy on Instagram, that embroidery girl.
Writing it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
because
makes
no,
this
don't. All right,
stamp
so
work. She
Georgina,
makes.
wait a minute. We got to get this stuff down.
You don't know her. You should know her. You should, like, she's. I mean, I think she's not posting lately. I haven't seen her for a while, but she makes this super like 3D gold work
Uh-huh.
pieces. So, and I loved it. I when I saw her work, I thought like I think this is so beautiful. I want to do something like this, you know. And it's this type of embroidery that I don't know how to say it, but I don't know if you will understand what I say. But you know, it's not perfect, but it's perfect. That it's not, you know, it's like so beautiful. I like that style, you know,
Yeah.
very much. Yeah.
Well, I know that when I first saw your work, and we've talked to several goldwork people, and I've stared at a lot of goldwork, but it's the way you use those color metal threads and pieces that really makes yours stand out. It's There's an extra dimension just because of how you use the colors. They're beautiful. It's beautiful work, and it's using that color that I think sets it apart.
I love the color pearls. I really like working with them, mixing them, you know, try to blend them because obviously it's not paint, so you cannot blend them. Same with the threads, with cotton threads, it's the same. But yeah, I really enjoy playing with them and trying to mix them and create these different textures. Yeah, it's really fun.
Now, was the gold work part, did you take classes for that, or did you just teach yourself and read some books and
I
figure it
did.
out?
I did a lot on my own, and then I did take a couple of classes. But mostly I took well, now I've done the certificate, right? So because after learning a lot on my own, I thought, okay, I want to see if what I'm doing is the right thing, right? Like I have to see that I need to know
Right.
the official techniques, because you can do whatever you want and change, you know, the rules if you want to, but you have to know, right? Like, okay, I'm doing this differently, knowing that I'm doing it differently, not because, you know, just because I'm an ignorant. But yeah, I did it reading lots of books, and then well, I did certificate, but I did this year, and I did a class. Yeah, I think I did some self-paced something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a self-paced course,
Okay.
and then I did follow the book. You know, I do this thing about getting a book and following it. You know,
Yep.
page one. Instructions. Okay, this is the first project. I did the same with silk shading with Trish Pur. I got the needle painting, the book for beginners. I went page one, first project, second project, third like following it,
Yep.
and it's so much fun.
I really appreciate that because that's how I've always learned. Get a book, read
uh
it, figure it out. Yep. Yeah.
yeah, and it's all there. I mean, these people has made like such an amazing work. There are so many books, so it's all there.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yep.
Yeah.
So you start doing. I mean, you do a lot of nature things, but small gold work is that. Is there a reason you keep just about everything you have is fairly small? Is there a reason you keep
It
it
is,
small?
huh? I don't know if there's a reason, but I think I find it very rewarding to finish the piece. You know, like when I've done bigger pieces, but I get a bit tired sometimes. You know, it's like it starts to, you know, I get a bit bored, or I start to struggle finishing it when they are very long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so rewarding to start something and finish it, right? It's like very rewarding. So maybe that's the reason why I'm doing it smaller, maybe. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think probably that's the reason. Like I like to start and finish it and not leaving it and then going back. You know, you lose the connection with the project, and then it's hard. It's hard to go back to it. I was doing some beading, and I got really hooked, but then I left it because I'm doing other things, and now it's so hard to go back to it. Right? It's like, yeah, it's so yes, probably it's because of that.
Yeah, Beth, that's why I finish so many things. Is it's the the reward of finishing. Yeah.
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 I'm sure. Yeah, that's right. See, and
Clara, I never finish anything. So
You never finish? No. Well, you have to make smaller projects then.
right. See, he and I both like large projects. I mean, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I think I've got one small project that I'm really currently working on. Everything else is big, and but I know what you mean. There's one that I don't dare stop working on because I know if I stop, I won't pick it up again.
Yes.
You know, for whatever reason, I know that. So it's like, okay, keep just powering through one thread a day, whatever you need to do to move it forward.
It's very tempting to make a big project, and I've done these things already, like with big cross stitch projects. This I'm going to start, and then it's on the pile,
on the pile.
So I'm I try to make them smaller so I can finish it. It's rewarding. And still, with gold work, even if it's small, it's a small piece, there is a lot of work on it still. So it's still very entertaining.
Yeah, those things are deceptive, aren't they?
Even
just a little 2 or 3 inch thing can be an awful lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah.
I thought you said it really well when you were talking about the Royal School and getting the certificate, because I think that's, in all the people we've talked to from the Royal School, that's the one thing that sticks with me is if you take their classes, get their certificate, do anything with them, it gives you that foundation. It's their way of doing things, and I doubt that they say it's right or wrong, but it's their way of doing things. So it gives you a foundation for all your stitching. When you said, then I know whether I'm doing it different or not.
Of course, it's a traditional technique. They teach you the traditional technique. This is how the traditional techniques are done. So, you learn how the pre-compounds, how to, paint the pattern with watercolor. Of course, I mean, I don't think I would do that on my own, because I'm going to use a friction pen, that erases with the heat, and I'm going to, some things I'm not going to do. But I think it's very interesting to know them, to understand the techniques, how they are, what's I don't know, in between, between, how do you say, brackets, the proper, and that it gives you, and then you have the freedom. So, I like this, but maybe I will do it differently. Yes, I think it's important. I wanted to do it. I wanted to, make sure
right.
that,
Right.
How close are you to finishing? Are you done, or?
I have to do canvas work. It's the last one. I already started it, and now I booked it. I booked all the classes now, like almost all, so I can finish it maybe this year. But I was mostly, I liked crewel work, Jacobean, very much, and silk shading and gold work, of course. That was very, very, very fun. And canvas work, being honest, it's not a technique that I'm very interested in. Maybe I will be surprised. Everybody tells me that. But I want to finish it, so I'm going to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if you're used to doing, Gary commented on this, I think recently, he's doing a crewel piece, and but he realizes he doesn't have to find a hole. He can just stab the fabric, and with canvas work, you've got it's pretty much a grid that you're working on, and I think that's difficult when you're.
Yeah, it's like an evolution of cross stitch, right? It's like with other stitches. I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
And it's like surface embroidery.
Surface embroidery.
This crewel piece I'm working on, I hadn't done anything surface embroidery type for a long time. And still I'm adjusting to the fact that I can put the needle wherever I think it should go, instead of it must go in this hole to make the stitch right. and
Yeah.
it's still an adjustment, but kind of freeing in a way. Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it is indeed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was in that moment too.
Okay, I want to talk about your frogs because your little frogs remind me of poison dart frogs. I don't know if you know what those are.
Poison, the little frogs. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and they remind me of that. And so I wanted to ask you, is that what they're modeled after, or did you just create little frogs?
No, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about an above view. That's what I was thinking about
Oh,
when
okay.
I thought of that frog, because I thought I could do it from an above view to stitch it, because I'm trying to explore to do it completely 3D, but I didn't get there yet. I will eventually. I hope so. But at the moment, I'm at that point where from the view from above, I can make, the eyes, and I can. So I was looking for animals that would look good from above.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking, and the koi fish as well. Like I can,
okay.
this
So
view from
that's all right.
above.
That's why it is, because Beth and I have drooled over the koi fish. Because they're terrific.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very successful. I was a bit surprised. So sometimes, it's hard for me to know what people is going to like. And the koi fish, I said, it went viral for my level. It's not like millions, but for my level, it was quite popular. And yeah, so I said I will do the workshop, and I did the workshop, and yeah, it sold out in 3 days. So yeah, I might have to do it again.
Oh yeah, because they're beautiful, and I think it's because koi themselves are so colorful, and then you capture that, and because when you're looking in a pond, that's what you see, the tops of them swimming around.
The view from above, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then I like this idea of making one and then trying to make different versions of the same fish or frog with different colors. And that's so entertaining. That was very, very entertaining to do. So I'm we are going to do the workshop, and the main project is the one with the sequins, the orange one, but I'm going to guide them, because I know others, they want to do other colors, so I'm going to, because once you have the base, it's easy to start exploring on your own. How would you do it? What color would you use? It's so much fun. Yeah.
So you're going to offer the koi as a workshop coming up?
Yeah, it's already sold out. Yeah. I announced it like I don't know when, maybe a month ago or something, or maybe less than a month. And yes, I'm going to be teaching the koi fish and the frog again. I didn't announce when is this podcast, this show airing? Couple of weeks. Okay. So I will announce it maybe before then on social media, but yes, I'm going to be teaching the frog again, because they asked me, so I said, okay, if they ask me, I'm going to do it, because they are interested. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm tempted on the frog. Oh
well, yes. You are invited, Gary. If you want, I would be honored.
Well, and his eyes are so cool.
Yeah. And it's a very fun project. It's a lot easier than it looks like. And you can finish it quite fast if you work on it.
Oh, then I can't do it. No, I'm not. I'm out.
No. You have to make a big frog.
It has to last a lifetime.
Well, you can enlarge
it.
Yeah. And so it's very nice, because in your work, and you can, in a couple of days, you can finish it, and you have this little frog. I love making the frogs. It's a very fun project. Yeah.
Okay, well, I follow you on Instagram, so that's where you'll announce it, huh?
It's already announced. It's already on my website, because
the frog is?
The frog is on my website. I always send the email to my contact list, my subscribers to my website. I always tell them first, and then I announce on social media. So that one is already. I still have kids, but yeah, it's already available. Let's say.
Oh, Beth, I may have to break the not one more thing. I may have
yes.
to.
Yes.
Have you done gold work before, Barry or Beth?
I haven't done anything formal. I've just played with it just to see what it's like. No, I've never sat down and tried to do a project. So,
and I've done a couple. I've done a couple. I did a class through EGA, and then I've added gold work to a needlepoint piece. So I know the basics, at least a little bit of them, and I have friends that are experts that I call upon when I get stuck.
Oh, I feel like gold work is a lot easier than it looks like. I think it looks more intimidating than what it really is, right? I don't know. I feel that.
It does. I think it's manipulating those little chips that I was doing some chip work on a piece, and to get them cut correctly and placed correctly was a little, but I think now that I look back at it, at the time I had elementary age students that I was homeschooling. So maybe that had something to do with it. I'd like to try again.
You were weak.
I was weak. I wasn't getting enough sleep. School.
No, it was not the right moment.
That's right.
I think it's easier. I think it's easier. Well, it depends what you want to do, right? If you want to be very precise and you can make it difficult, of course. But the frog is not. The frog is very, and it's very fun to make, and it's not that difficult. And, it doesn't have to be perfect, if you know what I mean. And you don't have to, and it still looks good.
Now, you like to make a lot of your pieces into jewelry. Is that so you can wear it and show it off, or you just think it's a fun way to finish?
I think it's just I don't know. I've done brooches because I don't know. I feel I like to take the pieces out of the fabric. I think I don't know. I never thought of these things, so I'm just trying to see why. But I do like to take them out of the fabric and make an ornament. And so, like a hanging ornament or a scissors fob or something, and a brooch seemed like I've done some denarios as well. Now that you say jewelry, when I was a kid, that was my hobby. I would do beading.
Oh,
so maybe it's related. It's related to that. Could be. I don't know.
See, it's like going to a psychiatrist talking to us.
Yeah. Going back in the history. Yeah. Now I'm going back to my grandmother's house, summer, locked in there and doing some necklaces and bracelets. It was so much fun. My mom would take me to the shop and to buy beads, but proper beads, adult beads, not kids beads, the real one, the real thing. And choosing all the beads, and the colors. I was just because we would spend the summer at my grandmother's, and we were like 3 months, very hot summer in Buenos Aires, and we were not a family. We were not going for dinner, going out, nothing. No, it was just being in the house, like locked there. Going to the supermarket, but she had a big house, so there were books, and so she got this idea of getting me beads so I could be entertained, and it worked. Yeah, it really worked. There was nothing else to do, so so maybe it comes from there. It could be,
yeah. Oh, but I could see taking that little frog and making it into a scissors fob.
Yeah, it could be.
Is it too big for that? Is it too big?
No. I have it. The one that I made for me, it's on a scissors fob. It's always on my gold work scissors. It's very, very tiny. Maybe I have here a ruler. I don't know if I can. It's 2 inches.
Now you've got me a question. You have gold work scissors. Now, when I didn't invest in scissors specifically for when I did the gold work, what scissors do you use for gold work? Are they different than normal scissors?
Well, I bought loads of these scissors, and the ones that I like the most are the Kai, Kai scissors. They are Japanese, Kai Janone. I don't know pronounce. And they have the curved tip.
Yes.
I like those. Those are the ones that I use for metals. They are better than the actual goldwork ones, in my opinion. I think they cut neater. They do cut a lot neater than the other ones, because the other ones, they have like a serrated.
Right.
One of the ends is serrated. And I don't know, I find these ones more comfortable.
Oh, wait
But
a
they
minute
are
now. I
not-
thought you were supposed to use serrated goldwork scissors. So
Maybe. Yeah, maybe, but
well,
I
no.
try them.
But for
I have them.
you, those hold up then, and they hold up. They keep their sharpness.
Yeah, they do. I always use the same pair for my metals.
Oh.
I never changed it yet. So it's been a few years now, and it's still sharp. And they are very, very good because they cut the metals sharp. I feel like the other ones, they don't cut it as sharp. And I did buy quite a few. I'm not, I did buy quite some models, but I go back to this one always. Yeah.
And that's interesting, because I have several pairs of Kai scissors, and I have those curved ones. I have them right here next to me, and I love them because they're lightweight. They're not very heavy, and I like that, the feel of them. And to be honest, they were very inexpensive.
Yeah, they are there.
And they work beautifully. I mean, the curved edge, I use it all the time to get really close to my needlework, just to cut floss.
They are very, and you can, because of the curve, you can go close to the fabric, without touching your fingers. The other side is just, they are so nice. And I also like, the ones that are the bent ones. There are some of them that are bent, same Kai Janom, because I think there are like, I've seen something, I'm talking Kai Janom, but I think there are others that are not Janom that also make Kai. I think I've seen something. And the bent ones that cut the fabric. So, for white work, when you want to make these like, little cuts in the fabric, or for me, when I'm cutting the little pieces around, those are very good because you don't want big pair of scissors, when you're cutting these little things. And those ones are really good as well.
Oh, interesting.
You know the ones that I'm saying, the bent ones that are completely bent?
Right. They've got a bend in not in the blade. They've got a bend in the scissor part, where the handles are.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, those are really good. Yeah, as well. Yeah.
I need to buy more scissors.
Yeah,
I think you do, Gary.
It's very important. Very important. The basic need.
This growing forest that I have right now is not enough. This is
no, it's not.
You need some specifically for the task at hand, the gold class that you're going to take with the frog.
Yeah. One for the cotton threads, one for the metals, one for the fabric. I even heard someone told me once, one for the felt. I thought that was too much, but yes, you can have one for each. Yeah, for each.
Well, now this, I've learned something here, because I thought that proper goldwork people had serrated scissors because they held the metal while they cut. But
maybe
you're having a much different experience here. So all right.
And I think I learned this from I didn't invent this. Jenny Adin recommends these scissors in her kits.
Jenny and Christie, really?
Yeah.
Then there you go, right there.
Yeah, I didn't invent this. Like, I learned it from her.
If Jenny says, it must be.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely, yes.
Okay.
Oh
man.
There you go.
These shows cost money.
Every time.
Yep.
Every time. And I want to ask you about your are you going to be teaching the Sacred Heart brooch at any time, or the Immaculate Heart?
Do you like it? Beth?
I do. And
yes.
Actually, for my mother. My mother would love that, and that's why. And it's hard, she's getting older, and finding things that would, speak to her.
Yeah.
If I made that for her, it would speak to her.
Well, I will take this as a sign, and I will do it again, because I did teach it, the Sacred Heart, and but after I taught it, it evolved. After I did the workshop, I continued working on the hearts, and now I have new techniques for it. And it's my favorite project. It's been very rewarding to make them. So now that you say this, you maybe I will decide to make another workshop of them, because it's this kind of projects, that you think that nobody's going to like, but say, okay, I'm going to do it anyway, and then okay, yes, some people was interested in this. So it was very rewarding. This was one of the most rewarding workshops I made. Yeah.
It looks like the heart portion itself is, what is that fabric? It's
a fake metallic leather.
Right.
I think you call it faux F-A-U-X, fox leather, something. It's like
leather?
Okay.
Yeah, metallic.
Leather.
It's a fake. It's not kid leather.
It's not kid leather. I thought that was kid leather.
No, it's fake. It's faux
leather.
Faux leather. Yeah. And so it's Immaculate Heart or Sacred Heart, and then the Saint Joseph. So it's the 3 hearts. So I might dare to do it again.
All right. Well, I'll just have to get on your mailing list. That way I know when you're offering it, and that way you'll send me an email, and then I'll say, oh yes, that's right, I need to sign up for that.
Yeah, I don't send emails that often. I only send an email when, I have something to say. And also, it's this way of staying in contact with people, when you like the work of somebody, or you want to stay in contact, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like sometimes I think, what happens if Instagram, I don't know, shuts down, or, you lose contact with all these people. And I built so many relationships in Instagram. I made friends talking all about embroidery. It's just embroidery. My Instagram, my algorithm, my world.
Right.
And that's a way of so the people that's in my mailing list is with me. I can stay in contact regardless, right?
Right. Because and sometimes it's hard. You think you're following, you've seen everybody's posts on Instagram, and then something slips through, and you're like, wait, I didn't see that. I didn't, and that is the problem. And so if it's something important, it's nice to get those emails.
Yeah, sometimes I send an email, and my students, they reply to me. They know, like, it's not like I'm not a company. It's just me. I do everything on it's just me. I make everything, and I even make my own website. I ship the things, I make the kits, I buy them. It's just me, only me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I can imagine. So you're the one. So you kit up all the goodies, then all the beautiful supplies we were drooling over.
Yeah.
We were checking you out.
Yeah. I do everything on my own. Yeah.
Yeah, those little packages of threads and beads and things that you have together by colors. Holy smokes, those look like fun.
Yes, they are so much fun, because I started with these workshops that I teach via Zoom. I started in New York, God bless America. And I started there, and so most of my students are recurrent students, which is so rewarding. It's like, okay, they like what I'm doing. This is working. And so they've always, after taking a class, they would ask me, how can I get these methods? Like, I want to get these threads. How can I get? So, okay, well, I can prepare you one, very casual. Okay, I make you one. What do you want? Photos on WhatsApp. And so after a bit, after a while, I said, okay, no, I'm going to make some boxes. So whoever wants can get it, like just, I have them done, because I would spend so much time with a custom order, I like this color, sending photos, and I don't have a catalog, it's not. So I said, okay, I'm going to make these boxes or these bundles organized, and whoever wants to get some threads, because it's so complicated to buy goldwork threads, especially when you're starting. And that happened to me as well. It's like you look at a project and you say, oh no, but I don't have this exact, and you look in a website and you have to buy from abroad, all this. It's not that easy. So you find these obstacles that are not that easy you have to be very, you have to be very decisive that you want to do it. Otherwise, maybe you give up, right?
Right.
So I made these little bundles and boxes, thinking on them, thinking on my students that they wanted material, so they know they get, the pinks, the blues, the greens, and they're always different. They, it's not like I said, like I'm not a company, so I make them on my own. I make, a few, and then when they're gone, they're gone.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're
And they ask me, sometimes they ask me, because I know them, so I know they're doing the flowers. Say, okay, but I'm looking for this. Can you add? Yeah, I'll add. I know it's very like informal,
Right. But that's good. Then your customers, and the customers know they can
Oh
get
yeah,
what they
know.
need.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's a very personal relationship with all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So talk
That's
about
great.
this. Talk about this collaboration with Marouk Bashir. Is that right?
Yes, Marouk Bashir with the Prince Foundation. So she was my teacher. I took a class of her with this to learn how to design Islamic flowers. Makes it beautiful. She's like an amazing artist. And so I obviously, like I said before, I was thinking of embroidery when I took this class. And, we started to connect. I was still in New York when I did it, but we connected via Instagram. So I said, okay, when you go back to London, maybe we can talk about doing something. And we did. And so we worked a bit and came out with this idea. And I'm really looking forward to it because it's a very interesting, I think, even if I say it myself, right? But it's I think it's very interesting, this idea of designing and doing the embroidery, because it's always doing the embroidery. You have the pattern and you have the project and you learn the technique, but sometimes I think or because I project maybe, we want to try design our own. So the idea of this class is you learn how to design, that you can learn, and she can teach you very well how to design these flowers. Obviously, she's going to think about, they are not going to be painted, they are going to be for embroidery. And then you can embroider your own flower, your own composition. So yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to see what the students are going to make.
Oh, that's a fabulous idea, because that's I think some of us, at least for me, maybe I'm projecting, I'm afraid to take that first step of how do I start? How do I design it? How do I know it's going to look all right?
Yeah, it's scary, right?
Right.
Yeah. And well, with this, because I studied from her, and she teaches you a technique, and you end up drawing your own flowers, and beautiful ones. Like, it's a technique, there are rules, and you make a circle, and then you think of the petal, how many petals you want to do. You divide the circle, and there's a technique to do them, and they look beautiful. You follow the rules, and you're gonna have your own flowers, and then we can embroider them. And it's going to be very fun. And so we tried different techniques, and now I was showing that on Instagram, like the samples that I was making for the project. And I think silk shading and a bit of gold. I couldn't avoid a bit of gold. I had to put a bit of gold. I think it's more versatile, because every student is going to have their own design. So so I think that with the silk shading, it's going to be it's more versatile, to fill them in, and then you can do a little outline with gold and have a little introduction to gold work. And make them shine.
So, and how many days is this class? Is it a single day class then?
It's a 5-day course.
Okay.
And it's a full day, 10 to 4:30, Monday to Friday. And the first 3 days, she's going to teach the techniques, the drawing. She's going to prepare the students to design their own flowers and compositions. And then on the Thursday and the Friday, I'm going to teach them how to embroider them. And I'm going to prepare the kits. We want them to have everything. So yeah, I'm going to get some different colors so they can choose their color palette as well. And
Excellent.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
And this is at the Princess Foundation School of Traditional Arts. Is that where Maruk teaches?
Yes. It's a School of Traditional Arts. And I think, I don't know, but I haven't seen embroidery before, I have to say, because I follow them and I've taken courses because I really love what they are doing there. And the courses, they are amazing. Very, very interesting, this idea of, maintaining the traditional techniques. So I think I haven't seen embroidery before.
All right, you're breaking new ground at the Princess School.
I am.
All right.
I think so, maybe.
All right, well, we need to wrap up. So we can't get in the koi class, but we can get in the frog class.
Oh, that would be amazing. I would be honored.
Well, be careful now. Okay,
it would be so much fun.
There's still slots for the floral piece with Maruk and you?
I think so, because I'm not controlling that because it's on their website. So I don't know how many left are there. I think there are still some. It's in November. There's time. But I have no idea about the numbers. So it's not under my control.
Okay, well, I'll hunt down the link.
But I have to say, we sold out the one at the London Embroidery School. That's also a class that we are going to put another date, and we're going to announce it tomorrow, because the first one we sold it out like in 3 days as well. So, so we are going to announce a second date for that one as well.
All right. So clearly, as Beth said, we just need to get on your email list and then.
Yes, and so we don't lose contact as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Right after we're done here. Signing up. All right, Clara, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun, and what just beautiful artwork. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you so much, Beth, for calling me. And it's an honor to be in your show. Really, it is.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to everyone for listening.